So yeah, I mean, you're in Japan, which I guess we should have mentioned, right?
Yeah,
so you're here. So.
Unless people don't know you're in
not
Japan.
CG.
Well, I wanted to get you on in LA, but then because we had a bunch of other things scheduled and it didn't work out. But then you were coming to Japan
Scheduled
anyway,
is
so
absolutely packed.
No, we're here because of you guys.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, I didn't do anything.
Well,
Not us.
Thank you. Directed you towards the agents.
Well, he was Malin, but it was us. It was us.
I
We'll
think
take the credit. That's fine.
From when did we meet in LA? When was that?
Well, we met at that party.
June?
In June.
So and we're what, August now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Like 2
from
months.
the
2 months.
middle of June to the middle of August, so like literally, it was like
Pretty crazy.
Japan, okay, and then 2 months later we're in Japan.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes you meet YouTubers and you're like, oh, you're like a normal dude who just also makes YouTube videos and you get along really well. And I was like, oh yeah, you should definitely come again.
Yeah.
Like,
They're a rare breed.
Well, a lot of time you sound like meet people, you're like, oh my God, you are a lot. Okay,
There's a lot of those.
I was surprised that you decided to come to Japan this quickly, because mostly you meet someone and you're like, oh, do you want to come here to this place? And I'm like, yeah, one day. And then like 2 years passes and then you get the message. But you guys was just like fucking
I love to just be impulsive with stuff like this.
Right.
Where it's like everything lines up, it makes sense, let's do it. Like don't and like there's enough help now. It's like I'm a very one-track mind. And I don't know if everybody else is like that or if it's just me, but it's like if I have to start trying to do too many things at the same time, everything falls apart. Like I get nothing done. So being able to have people that help organize stuff, just like, okay, what do you think about Japan? And they're like, okay, and then they just start working on it. It's like,
oh my God.
it's really, really, really.
So you came for the first time in 2019?
Yeah.
And you just loved it?
Yeah, this place is amazing. Honestly, I think if anybody has any intention of ever coming to Japan, you have to do it. It has to be on your bucket list. You have to come to Japan. Figure out how to make it work.
What's so good about it? You tell me.
Sell it to us.
I think that
Sell Japan to us.
Tokyo is everything every major city wishes it was.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're like, right?
Right. Am I right?
It is like America, but Disneyland mixed in the same thing, where it's like a city that I'm familiar enough with because it's like a lot of everything is like English or like, uses our alphabet so that you can read it and decipher it. But it's like clean and convenient and predictable. Like it's bizarre because it's like Los Angeles is a nightmare. And this is great.
Traffic isn't too bad.
Right. It's
Public
like,
transport system as well.
we have yet to run into any issues with public transport. Like we're not, maybe we're just avoiding rush hour and whatnot, but like you show up and
but
the train just
even during rush hour, it somehow works.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with the crowd, but like,
It's just cramped.
it's just cramped, but everything's still on time somehow.
I just like when we normally back home, like I don't drink at all when we go out because I'm driving.
Yeah,
And here
exactly.
it's like, oh, we're not.
Yeah, I've never
I drink every day.
Have a beer, 2 beers.
Well, that was
maybe
one
3
thing.
beers.
That was one thing. As someone who grew up in England, I could never understand about American culture, which is this culture of having a designated driver. Because I'm like, damn, imagine if you have to go out and one of you just has to like commit to not having fun. Like I couldn't. I just wouldn't go out.
Yeah.
like even if it's just that one time.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
like rotate it.
Because in Australia, it's not who's the designated driver; it's who's the least drunk here.
America kind of the same way.
It's illegal, Joey.
Yeah, I know. Well, everyone's doing it. Come on.
We do not.
Yeah, it's in the past.
We do not condone that at all.
I've never done that.
Disclaimer trash.
Oh no, I've never done that.
Oh, okay.
None of us have ever done that.
Australia is a very interesting place. It's
You should come to Australia.
kind of like white trash America, but also at the same time, it's like way more together.
Hold on, pause. What did you say? Australia is like white trash
White
America.
trash America, yeah.
I think it's right.
What the fuck?
But it's not.
antagonized.
It's. I mean, I don't mean that wholeheartedly.
I hope not.
But I still stand by it. Like, there's something a little bit crazier about
Wait, have you been to Australia?
Yeah, once.
Whereabouts were you?
Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's something about
Someone
Australia.
from Sydney. I totally get you.
Wait.
Makes perfect sense.
Maybe I should also. I'm gonna add a loophole. It could have also been the people that I was hanging out
Yeah, it might have been.
Well, I guess there is a lot of crazy shit that happens in Australia.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah,
and we've
not
talked about this
denying
before.
that.
Like Australia is like the Florida of the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, okay. I get it in that sense. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
It-
What's
it-
the difference between Florida and white trash?
Shit, you got me there, bro.
Poor Florida getting dragged again.
In Florida, they like it.
They like no.
They thrive on that.
Good Florida dude.
Drag me faster. There's something in the water in Florida.
There's something in the water in Australia as well.
Yeah, this place, I like Japan a lot.
Yeah.
I like Australia too. It was either we were going to go back to Australia or come to Japan.
It's nice going to Australia or the UK or America after being here for too long, because after a while you kind of get bogged down by all the rules and all the things you have to follow. You're like, okay, I just want to go somewhere where when there's a problem that people figure it out. Not that people don't start freaking out and going, what do we do? What do we do? This guy said he wants to tip us.
Right.
Freaking out.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because I think visiting Japan is I honestly do think Japan is one of the best countries to visit in the world. If you want to live here, there's other things you have to keep in mind. It's still an amazing country to live in, but it's a very different experience when coming to
No
visit
country's
here.
perfect.
Yeah,
Every
no
country is
country's perfect. And definitely after being stuck in here for COVID, I did miss a lot of, let's say, like the chiller aspects of other countries.
More chaotic.
Yeah. When it comes to just attitude in general.
Yeah.
I think attitude's a big thing where sometimes you just want to go to a place or, work somewhere where you don't have to worry about getting approval or just, should I be worried about doing this very specific thing,
Yeah, very specific thing with little to no consequences, but they make it seem like there's a whole heap of consequences.
I am totally fine following the rules if they make sense.
And if they don't make sense,
Then I lose my mind.
Welcome to Japan, buddy.
that's the American in you talking.
I mean, a lot of America has stuff that doesn't make sense too.
Yeah.
Have you ever learned about like the drug classifications, like the drug scaling?
No.
I think the UK actually follows similarly to
Marijuana is classified worse than methamphetamine.
Wait, what?
What?
So we in the UK, we have like A, B,
Yeah,
C?
so marijuana is a
I'm gonna
class
double
C
check that.
drug.
Yeah, are you an expert in this?
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before.
I mean, as you know, drug experts here,
Yeah, of course.
resident drug expert.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe in the UK, marijuana is a class C drug.
Yeah.
Cocaine and ecstasy and all those are like class A drugs. I've never heard of what a class B drug is.
So Schedule 1,
Speed?
Schedule 1 is marijuana, heroin, LSD, ecstasy, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, nowhere in these are like nicotine or anything like that.
Right.
And so it's like, to me, that's one of those rules where it's like, from a scientific standpoint, like there's definitely like no science has been done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if you
of course.
want to
Well,
have
because it's just
rules,
government,
right, exactly,
just arbitrary.
right, and so it's like be concise and be like realistic with the rules. Don't just make shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes sense.
that could apply to a lot of things though.
Right? Yeah.
Like some things I feel like just have to do with like the PR or the, let's say, the public perception of them.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue Japan does that, but in the opposite end when it comes to things like marijuana. They just think like, oh, all drugs are just as bad as each other. So marijuana is just as bad as heroin and meth and all
Japan is
those.
surprisingly lax in some places though. But I think it's because they haven't ever had like big disasters or anything. So there's some rules where you're like, that's weirdly okay. You guys
Like
seem
what?
weirdly okay with it. There's a few. I had some things in mind. I forgot. But like, the fact that you can drink alcohol in a lot of places that you normally think that other countries would be like, maybe don't. Like you openly drink alcohol, no problem.
Right.
The culture around alcohol here is really.
Can you drink alcohol in public?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
You can drink alcohol on the train. You can drink alcohol on a bus. You
That's
can walk
amazing.
around. Take a
Yeah.
can,
But I
crack
tell
a-
you what you can't do in public.
Okay.
Smoke cigarettes. You can smoke cigarettes inside in a restaurant, in certain restaurants.
Or in designated smoking areas outside.
you're not
you
allowed-
can't smoke and walk.
you can't smoke outside on the streets.
Where are you supposed to, that seems like the only place you would go to smoke.
Welcome to Japan.
So when you get a domestic flight, you don't need to show ID at any point.
That's cool.
You just walk on the plane.
Yep.
It's a domestic
I mean,
flight,
that I get because it's
but America, that's not how it is.
I know.
America,
Oh,
they
well.
stick their
That's how they
whole
got.
hand up
They
your
got
butt.
9/11 though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.